Hi, Dr. Lucas Candifer here with the Niagara Frontier Veterinary Society. Today we're talking about pet ID, and what we're looking for is to make sure that if your pet does get lost, gets away from you, or does slip out of the house, that we find a way to get them back to you. So the most efficient way to make sure that if your pet does get lost or does get away, that we can get them back is to make sure that they have a collar on that has some identification on them. And what we're looking for is typically the pet's name as well as your contact information. Making sure that your phone number is on there and it's accurate is really important, because anyone who happens to find your dog or cat can then call a number very quickly and get that pet back to you. With our cats, having a collar on them can be a little dangerous, especially if they're outside cats. We can get collars caught on things, and we have had cats that have had major issues where the collar does not break off. So that is a major issue that we run into, and making sure that we have a breakaway collar is really important for a cat that's outside. Identification on that can be really helpful. If that collar falls off, if your pet gets out without a collar on, then that pet ID chip, basically a identification chip, can be put in under the skin in your pet. Typically this is done when they're very young, especially when they're getting their spay or neuter. It can make it easy to get that chip into them. And what this chip does is really it helps veterinary clinics and shelters, the local SPCA. They have microchip readers that can help identify the pet's number, the company that it's registered with, and that's how they get them back to you. It is a common misconception, maybe not too common, but I have had people call the clinic and look to find if we can activate a microchip so they can find where their pet is. This is not a GPS tracker. It is really just a number that we can scan. It has to be very close to that pet in order to identify what the number is. You can get a GPS tracker for your pet, especially dogs that are outside. It can really help make sure if they're going to be young, they're running around, and you're trying them off leash. A GPS tracker can help you find where your pet is at any point. That microchip that's in your pet is linked to a company, and we want to make sure that you have that microchip registered with your pet's information as well as your contact information, and that needs to be updated on a regular basis. If they don't have your active contact information, it can be really difficult to track you down from that point. So making sure that you keep that up to date, checking with your local shelters, checking with your veterinary clinic, even keeping that rabies tag on your pet. That will typically be linked at your veterinary clinic to your pet, and sometimes that's the way that we have people call and find out who owns what pet when they get loose. So there are a number of ways to help identify your pet. And making sure that you can get them back if by chance they get lost is really important. We want to make sure they all get back and nobody loses a family pet and a big member of the family through something simple like not having an updated record. So for all of us at Niagara Frontier Veterinary Society, hope everyone's well. Take care. We'll talk to you next time.
Some great tips there for you on AM Buffalo, and you can find out more at nfveterinarysociety.org.